Hey, this is Cam of the Brother Slim, and welcome back to my solo People of the Stormlit Lantern Kingdom Death campaign. I think we're on Lantern Year 20. I think my numbering in the actual campaign might be off. I'm a little confused there, but that's okay, because we're here for a fun settlement video today. Yas. After third time was not the charm. I think it could have been, but alas, the dice rolls were not meant to be against the Kingsman level 2, and we lost. Luckily, not all of our best people, but we've got the murderer, and I think someone dies in murder, case in point the name, and I think it might be the best person, but I can't recall. So let's jump into this and see what happens. So we've already done the first couple of steps. The app automates all that, which is fantastic. And so we're going to start off with the murder. My assumption of the rules is that we still draw a settlement event, because this one we were specifically told to do this. So I think we'll draw one too, because we've got this picked out here. But let's resolve murder first. Someone in the settlement is being murdered. The survivor with the highest hunt XP is the victim. Yay, they are dead. The murderer, the survivor with the highest insanity, was caught in the act and is awaiting punishment. Select the table that corresponds with your settlement society principle and roll 1d10 to determine the fate of the murderer. Alrighty, so Blessing in Disguise maybe. Our highest Hunt XP survivor currently isn't one that's actually active anymore. So they were an all-star, and I think my favorite survivor that I've gotten to play with, Starguile, who aged up a whole bunch fighting the Phoenix, and then ended up retiring soon after because of that. But they were a boss, and I love them dearly, and they've been murdered. That makes me very sad. All right, Starguile, so you have been murdered. Cause of death? Oh no, like I'm wrong. That was, no, we decided to revive her because I made a dumb decision trying not to be meta. Yeah, that's in old episodes, but she dies in the end anyways, not of old age. Murder. Dead. I don't know if that would... I mean, I guess so. Someone's died, so sure, we'll take the endeavors from that. Alrighty, and what is our... I think it's collective toil, but let me just take a look. So progress... principle... We have collective toil. Indeed. Okay, let's roll on the collective toil table. 1d10. Lantern 10, we love to see it. 7+. The murderer is sent into darkness. They return with 1 iron strange resource and the immortal disorder. Well, that's fun. Who is our most insane person? Immortal? What the Hank Brown is that? Okay, so survivors. It's going to take a minute to go through everybody here. So we have insanity. Just to find the most insane. 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, so those are all farmer characters. 0. Risen's at 9. Stormfather's at 4. Risen is the murderer. Okay, Risen with 9 insanity. Okay. 1 iron strange resource and the immortal disorder. Let's take a look at immortal. I mean, that doesn't sound bad per se. Immortal, while you are insane, convert all damage dealt to your hit locations to brain damage. You are so busy reveling in your own glory that you cannot spend survival while insane. Whoa, that is really cool. Okay, so they just definitely cannot have any sentient weapons, which is fine by me. Very, very cool. That's interesting as heck. All right, then we'll add iron, which is good for us too. So we're getting to the point where iron is going to be important to craft stuff. Well, that's really cool. You know what? I don't think that could have been better. I am okay with that. We lost someone, which is too bad, but it was someone who's retired. They shall be missed, and then we'll draw this up. Elder Council. The elders of the settlement gather to reminisce over their hard-won scars. Count the total number of Hunt XP among all survivors. Add the bonuses and consult the table below. Okay. So this is not going to be very much right now because we don't have many skilled survivors. Okay, let's total this up. This will just take a second here. 2, 5, 10, 14, 16. Okay. 16, Sagas, Gravitation, or Records. I don't know if we have those. Let's take a little look. No, none of those. So 16, I think it was that. So 16. Well, let's roll. Is it just 1d10? I assume so. Oh yeah, because those are plus d10s. So 1d10. 22. We're kind of flat in the middle here. -1 endeavor. One of the elders recalls a story about a bizarre lion it met on a dangerous hunt. The monster was mourning and its paw held a tattooed human hand. Add the Beast of Sorrow to your quarry list. You'll find its rules on the Legendary Monster Story Events page. You may now hunt this monster. Interesting. Add the Beast of Sorrow. Legendary monster. I have no idea what that is. Cool. A legendary monster settlement. Quarries. Beast of Sorrow. Cool. We'll have to check that out after. That sounds very interesting. Legendary monster. You'll find its rules on the Legendary Monster Story Event page. You may now hunt this monster. Well, we'll check that out later for sure. Cool. All right, that's done. Also, just off camera, just so I wasn't doing a whole bunch of boring stuff while doing this with just my hands here, which are usually off scene. I already ran the math on if we're able to innovate this turn, and we are, so we'll do that next. So losing a second endeavor, going down to 13, which is pretty wild. And we shall draw 1, 2, 3, 4 these cards and have our pick. Ooh. So this is one that I've wanted for quite a while. Pictograph. At the start of a survivor's act, they may decide to skip their act and run away. After a hunt event is resolved, a survivor may decide it's time to go home and run away. I do like the sound of that one. Face painting. Battle paint, laughingstock, death paint, have plus stuff. Founder's Eye, accidental mess, nothing happens. Or intimacy rolls. Cool, cool. Partnership, I'm not too keen on. It just sounds like something that you need to kind of manage. Gains a partner ability. Can be nominated once per lifetime. When you both arrive, gain survival up to the survival limits. Partners may only nominate each other for intimacy. When a partner dies, the remaining partner gains a random disorder and loses this ability. So it feels a little bit more niche. Drums. Bone beats. You drum alone. Gain 2 insanity. Rhythmic trance. Gain 2 survival. Or rhythm chaser fighting art. Or synchronized strike super fighting art. That's pretty cool. So you just select one. Neat. I think, although that sounds good, I think it's got to be the pictograph to be able to run away. So then that way, if I do bring my best folks on a fight and it's not going well, I can just GTFO. So I think it's going to be pictograph for sure. These 3 shall go back in the deck. And then I just need pictograph consequences. There you go, and we just got 1, which is Memento Mori, and maybe used once per settlement phase. Gaining insanity of a dead survivor. Oh, that's pretty cool. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Well, we'll add that to our innovation deck and shuffle that. Back up for later. Cool. Let's add pictograph in the app, so that's nice and easy. Pictograph. There we go. Cool, cool, cool. We got pictograph. That makes me happy. So now we can run away from fights if we need to. Good, 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 good. Okay. Oh, I think I should have finished reading events before jumping into that, but that's all right. We got pictograph. Back to story events. We've got some interesting ones. So we've got watched, necrotoxic, mistletoe, and a warm virus. I'll probably finish a warm virus just off camera just because it's not necessarily that exciting. But the other ones are watched is brand new, and necrotoxic mistletoe is hopefully going going to result in that crazy secret fighting art that I really want to try to utilize. Let's do Watched first, which looks pretty bonkers. Okay, so we've got it opened up here. Watched. So there is, I know his name is the Watcher. Its logo's on the box. Pretty cool. And then looking at this art, so we've got a whole bunch of broken empty lanterns. So I assume, is this our lantern horde? Walls are full of stone faces. Other walls are kind of fleshy, ribbed. And then in the center is an egg thing. You know, looks like there's tentacles on the bottom. Creepy, creepy art. Okay. Watched. Dark spots spread across the lantern horde. A nervous hush falls over the settlement. Slowly, the most daring survivors peer past the darkened lanterns, venturing beneath them into a vast chamber unknown and undreamed of. Slumbering in the center of the chamber, the survivors can feel a presence of immense danger. Their ultimate predator would soon wake, extinguishing the lantern light that holds the endless darkness at bay. Starting this settlement phase, the survivors may awaken and face the sleeping menace. You may move Nemesis Encounter Watcher to the current lantern year. You cannot move it to that you already had a Nemesis encounter on the timeline. The settlements have a different response to the settlements have a different response to the discovery based on their conviction. We went with Barbaric. The survivors decide that they must craft the perfect weapon to prepare themselves. Gain the ultimate weapon innovation. This does not count towards the settlement's innovation total. Nominate a survivor and roll 1d10. Okay, well, let's find that. Ultimate weapon. Alrighty, ultimate weapon. Survival limit +1. When you defeat a monster, gain 1 monster resource of your choice from its resource deck. Whoa! That is really cool. Dang, me likey. Me likey a lot. Okay, let's add that. That's really neat. Only thing that's kind of a bummer is now I need to be a little bit more on the ball about what exactly I want to craft while fighting monsters instead of doing it after. But I guess I could just do it belatedly too. That's really cool. So, ultimate weapon, let's add you. Okay, ultimate weapon has been added. Alright, roll 1d10. Who do we want to do this with? Let's do it with Stormfather. So rolling 1d10. 1. This looks like a good place to get a 1 at least. The survivor begins to make preparations. Add Hands of Heat to the timeline 4 years from now. Okay, done deal. Let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hands of Heat. Story event? Yes, cool. Very, very cool. Okay. That is, I think that is the showdown itself. Let's take a little look at this thing waking up once more, that we actually know what's going on. Neat. Okay, with that one out of the way, let's move on to the next story, Necrotoxic Mistletoe. It has this terrifying, creepy art of everyone being taken over by plants and dying. Oh, this is Warm Virus, never mind. This is Necrotoxic Mistletoe. The other one is being reborn via plants, which is still kind of creepy. Alright, so we know that this snow is not good. Or mistletoe, I should say. Not snow, although it looks like snow in the picture. Small buried plants bloom all over the settlement, and air pollen clusters dance in the lantern light as they fall from the atmosphere above. The ghostly scene is beautiful. The returning survivors feel their hearts lift and gain 5 survival. So that's not going to be the case for us. We don't have any returning survivors. As the settlement frolics, enjoying the phenomenon, a few members begin to feel sleepy. Cold-nosed and covered in pollen, they sit to the side and watch everyone play. Nominate a health-conscious survivor. They gain +1 understanding and courage and check up on their sleepy friends. Let's see, who should be our health-conscious survivor? I think it's going to be Vistim. No, it's not going to be Vistim. It's going to be Hesina. It shall be Hesina. It's actually kind of perfect in the Stormlight book. She is a wife to a surgeon and is basically a nurse, you could say. So Hesina is perfect. Let's do that. 1 courage and 1 understanding. There we go. Okay, so we are looking for a 7+. I actually feel kind of nervous for this roll. It's an important one. Woo! So that's awesome. Let's see. Okay, so check up. Roll 1d10, and we got a 9. All right, the hell-conscious survivor realizes that the necrotoxic mistletoe has invaded their flesh, and they are the source of the epidemic. Okay, never mind. Not that one. We're reading the blue text because of the blue box. If the settlement has innovated sculpture, the health-conscious survivor uses tools to dissect and research the plants of their pollen. As the buds appear on their body, they manage the invasive plant and gain the Acanthus Doctor's secret fighting art. Sadly, a few die from the infection. -2 population. Amazing. So Hesina has gained the Acanthus Doctor secret fighting art. I'm low-key really stoked on that. Sweet. Okay, let's add Acanthus Doctor. Boom, boom, boom. So what's so cool about this is, so Acanthus Doctor, you may weigh up to 3 satchel gear cards. When you depart, if you are not wearing any armor, for each green affinity you have, gain +1 strength token and 1 armor to all hit locations. Spend your action and a flower or fresh Acanthus resource to heal a permanent injury you or an adjacent survivor suffered this showdown. Super neat. I'm stoked on that. Fantastic. Cool. Let's open this up one last time, though, and just do the beginning of... Not that one. A warm virus. We've done this one many times because Orluzidin has died many a time, but that's okay. Nominate the survivor that can consume to be the host. If that's not possible, okay, well, it's absolutely possible, so they need to go down the throat. We're just going to do one of the Dark Eyes, the farmers. And so we're rolling 1d10, getting right in the middle with a 5. If the settlement has graves, which you do as their death principle, the host builds a small grave and tearfully bids farewell. Nominate a survivor with the least hunt XP. They are moved and gain the Swordsman's Promise secret fighting art. Then welcome the guest. Okay, so least hunt XP, we got a whole bunch of different people. I'm probably going to go ahead and do the farmer, or a farmer, I should say. Because a bunch of the farmers don't have any. I'm just going to double check and see what Swordsman Promise is, because I could put it on the stump, which would be pretty sweet too. Actually, Hesina doesn't have any hunt XP. Let's put it on her, because I've got an idea. Swordsman's Promise. So it doesn't sound too good. At the start of each showdown, gain survival up to the settlement survival limit if you have a sword in your gear grid. So I don't think... I'm getting a crazy weapon in a few turns. I can actually look at it here. Maybe I should do that first. Let's do gear. So rare gear. Where are you at? Oh, there we go. No, not sense memory. Rare gear. Dengu. The calcified Juggernaut Blade. Oh, it doesn't. It's not considered a sword. So it's a melee weapon, grand bone, other. I mean, it's got blade in the name, and it's clearly a sword, but it doesn't count as a sword. That's too bad. Oh well, she's got it, and she might have a sword at some point. Q. And so, I'll read the bottom, although once again, I've done this a few times. As the flower is digested, a virus enters the host's bloodstream and travels to their brain. The host experiences a state of euphoria as viral genomes are injected into the cells of their prefrontal cortex and pallium. The host feels as if a satisfying itch within their skull has finally been scratched. That sensation is the last thing they experience as their original selves. The host's brain is rewritten, replacing the sum of their life with that of the guests. The host loses all fighting arts, disorders, abilities, and impairments. Then they gain all the guest's fighting arts, disorders, positive attributes, and weapon proficiency levels, including type. They do not gain the guest's abilities or impairments. Cool, cool. So our Lucidin, the 6th or 7th shall be born. Once again, I'm just going to do that off camera, though, just because it's not necessarily the most riveting thing. Okay, so we got that done. That's pretty cool. Some of the things that we do want to do are, I think we're going to try some trepanning, and then we're also just going to use shared experience to get a little bit of hunt XP on some folks. But first things first, some trepanning. My first time doing this too, which is pretty cool. So Lynn, what you got? Disorders, weak spots, and monster panic, which we don't love. Let's spend a endeavor going down to 12. We do got a lot of these right now, which is pretty awesome. And try to get rid of this for Lynn. All right, so rolling 1d10. Cure intracranial hemorrhage. We don't get to do anything, so we'll do it again. Getting an 8, we can the same thing. I mean, you know what? I'm just gonna say that's fine. I'm just gonna go ahead and cure a disorder. Just one though. Not gonna do both. Okay, so weak spot, that one's fine. Let's get rid of monster panic. Cool. So that is 2 disorders. No, blah, blah, 2 endeavors for 1 disorder. Risen, you. We don't really care about your disorders. They're fine. One of them's actually really cool. Stormfather, you just have Vermin Obsession 2. I'm not worried about that. Cool. So we got that there. Shared experience. I think I'm just going to do that off camera too. Once again, not necessarily that exciting stuff. And yeah, with that, was there anything else on the timeline that we needed to do? No. So we get our Lucidin back once more, reincarnated via the sleeping virus flower, or something virus flower. And really cool, like really cool disorder. The immortal one sounds pretty crazy. Just taking insanity damage instead of normal damage. And on top of that, getting the Canthus Doctor. So I'm going to have to make a build for that too, which I'm very excited for. Yeah, cool. Well, considering that we just got absolutely rocked in the fight and dealt with murder and basically had no ill effects and in fact some good ones from it, I'd say that was a fantastic settlement phase. So looking forwards to... Tempted to do a level 3, but I also don't want to... I don't know if my new survivors are kitted out enough for it. But some of them do have pretty good stats. So I might look at the level 3 Antelope before deciding, but it's going to be the Antelope regardless. Either level 2 or level 3, and then just mostly trying to probably do the level 2 because I'm going to try and game it out and get as many resources from it as possible. So gaming it out on level 2 probably makes the most sense. I do want to fight a level 3 though because I haven't done one yet. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me on this settlement adventure of Kingdom Death, and we'll see you for a live stream in a week or 2. I don't know what date this video will go up, but the next Tuesday of whichever main date that will be later this month. Thank you, and bye-bye for now. Bye.